Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to today's maths lesson, where we're going to be looking at problems involving percentages, decimals, and fractions, working on our work from yesterday. Now then, we're going to be looking at word problems today, and you're going to have to sort of work out how we're looking at percentages, at decimals, at fractions. So let's have a look at the first one here. If 1,200 people go to a football match, and 40% leave at half-time because Manchester City are losing, how many people are left? So the important part here is that there's 1,200 people. 40% leave, that means they go away. So I'm going to be doing some subtraction here. And of course, the question I'm answering is how many are left. The other things are not really that relevant. Okay, it doesn't matter where these 1,200 people are. It doesn't matter why they've left. That's nothing to do with my mathematics. So I'm going to have to find out 40% of 1,200. Okay. And that's how many people have left. So there might be a different way of working out this out, and that's absolutely fine, okay? But I'm going to go with this way, where I'm going to do 40% of this amount, and I'm going to subtract it from 1,200, and that will give me my total answer. So 40% of 1,200. Now, if you remember, 40% is the same as 40 over 100. So you could do 40 over 100 of 1,200. So therefore, you will be doing 1,200 divided by 100 and then times that by 40. Divide by the denominator, multiply by the numerator. So 1,200 divided by 100 is 12 times by 40. Well, 40 times 10, that is going to equal to 400. 40 times 2 is 80, so that's 480. So 480 people have left. So how many people are at the venue still? That's going to be 1,200 minus 480, which is going to equal to 720. And there we go. I've answered my question. There are 720 people left. Now you may have figured out a different way of doing this. For example, you might have found 10% to then find 20 and 30 and 40%. You may have gone with 60% to find this original amount. Okay, 40% have left, so 60% still there. Whatever method you use is fine as long as it gets you the right answer, and of course it is quick. Let's have a look at this next question, where I'm going to be looking at decimals with this one, and you'll see why in a minute. So to see Ed Sheeran in concert costs £30 for 4 people. How much do I pay for 1 person? There's my important information. So I've got £30, and that's for 4 people, and I need to find out for 1 person. So it's £30 divided by 4. Again, multiple ways of working this out. Divided by 4, so you can half and half again. For this one, I'm just going to use the bus stop method just to confirm that I am correct. So I've got £30 divided by 4. Now I'm going to put in my decimal places straight away so I can go into there if I need to. So 3 divided by 4 can't be done equally, so I will continue that 3 across there. 30 divided by 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Okay, so that's going to be 7. Remainder of 2. And 5. No remainder, 7.5. So how much does it cost per person? It costs £7, and now this is important, and 50 pence. 0.5 is the same as 0.50, but remember, when you're working in money, you're going to definitely have to have 0.50, not just 0.5. Okay, so it costs £7 and 50 pence per person. And my final question. Nikita has 600 amazingly colourful gel pens. If he gives 3/4 of them to Mr. Drummond, how many does Mr. Drummond have? Important information. 600. He gives 3/4 of them. And again, how many do I have? So I'm going to have to find out 3/4 of 600. And that will let me know how many pens that I have. Now, similar to the percentage question. Okay, to find 3/4 of 600, I'm going to do 600 divided by the denominator and then multiply that by the numerator. Okay. So 600 divided by 4 and then multiply that by 3. Again, 600 divided by 4, I could use a suitable method to work this out. Divided by 4 here, I'm going to half it and half it again. So half of 600 is 300, and half of 300 is 150. And then I'm going to multiply that by 3. Okay, so I've done my brackets first. 150 multiplied by 3 is going to equal to 450. So how many pens does Mr. Drummond have? I have now got 450 pens. Thank you to Nikita's generosity. But be careful, because this is a similarly based question, but it will give you a different answer. Again, Nikita has 600 amazingly colourful gel pens. If he gives 3/4 of them to Mr. Drummond, how many does he have left? Be careful with your reading of the question. Make sure you fully understood it. This time, I'm not finding out how many I have. I'm going to find out how many Nikita has left. So that is going to be 3/4 of 600, or you could work out 1/4 of 600. If you find out 1/4, that's what Nikita's got left, okay, it's going to equal 150. The alternative way is to work out 3/4 and then subtract that from your original amount. We've already worked out that 3/4 of 600 is 450, and then I will do the 600 that he had. He gives me, so he loses 450 of them, okay, and that will leave him with 150. Notice how I've got a different answer on this question to this question, purely because it is asking me who has what. So just be careful when you are answering these questions that you're actually answering the question that you need to answer. Now, your task for today is to complete the worksheets that have been sent to your parents or are available on Google Drive. Remember to send your work to me as soon as it's finished, but definitely before 3 p.m. There are extension activities on Study Ladder or on Sumdog if you want to have a go at those. And again, as always, if you've got any questions, send me a message and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you very much, Year 6, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.